Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wartburg, where today I am doing something that I have been wanting to do since I started building the city, and I am so happy that I'm finally getting around into it because it's such a big project that I've been put off from doing it, right? And I finally thought I want to knuckle down and get this done, or at least get it started today. So you might be wondering, why are we looking over this random patch of forest, this bit of the outskirts of the city and the countryside? Well, that's because for this project we need as much space as we can possibly get, and there is not much space in this city left, to be honest. Not much flat space anyway. There's plenty out here, right on the outskirts of like the smaller bits of the city, but they're too far and inconvenient and out of the way. And I feel like with the infrastructure that we can have coming over from the main part of the downtown that we have right now, over here, well, round here, mainly on this plateau is where I was looking at, is the perfect place to have this. So I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore, and I will tell you about what we're going to get doing. So yes, that is right. By the title and the thumbnail, you probably can tell that I am super excited to build the airport today. So I want to do a huge international airport, massive scale, just to match the vibe of the rest of the city, because we're building a huge city, so we need a huge airport. So right out here, we've got beautiful highway connections. We have this bridge that comes along, which has a monorail on top of it, and we also have the rail and metro connections that we created when we were setting up for the infrastructure for the theme park. And all these bridges, obviously we have the other train line here. It's close to Augsburg as well, so it's not just serving the main downtown, so it's serving the entire city. And you need so much space for an airport, so obviously it all has to be flat, it all has to be level, because when you make the airport district anyway, it levels it out for you. But I'd like to obviously make it look pretty decent, so I'm probably going to take the level here that's right next to the highway and do some proper terraforming and level this whole area out, because I would assume that this kind of raised area here with the abandoned factory on it would just be enough to fit the airport in anyway. We're going to start small, obviously, since we don't have unlock all on. It'll be the same kind of thing as the theme park, where we have to level it up step by step. But I'm going to get cracking with some terraforming to give us a beautiful canvas to build our airport on. So we've got this pretty huge area cleared out. This should be plenty of room. I'm not too worried about space anymore. Unfortunately, I did have to take this huge section of the mountain off, and honestly, I loved having that there, but it was just inconvenient because what I realised once I started terraforming, that planes are obviously flying in and landing on the runways, and if I'm going to have more than one runway pointing in different directions, one of the runways will be pointing right into a mountain, and I don't think that'd be great for taking off or landing. So if I have my runways facing horizontally across here, they now have a nice clear path to take off rather than having to pull up immediately and fly straight over a mountain. So that was just one of my concerns, but I tried to preserve the kind of natural bumpy look of the mountain here. I've not done the best job, but it'll do. We've still kept plenty of the natural beauty, but we just had to give way for some better looking airports. So I need to get cracking now. So to start the airport, we have 4 choices out of the single or double stories, or the classic or modern terminals. Now, obviously, I have a preference for things looking more modern, so I'm starting with the modern airport terminal. So I'm placing it right in this corner here because this will be the smaller terminal of the ones we'll have in the future, because we do get a large terminal when we reach level 2. So I do want to plan for the future. This will be the one that we're using anyway. So I'm thinking we have 2 sections of the airport. We have the original section in this right hand side because there's less room. So this is just why we're a lower level and we're a lot smaller. And then all this space we have to expand over here will be for when we get a higher level and we can build more things. So I want to give plenty of room for parking. Now, these train lines that are in the way, what I'm probably going to do is either run them around the back, which probably seems like the best idea, run them through the mountains, maybe tunnel them and bring them back out. And then this one that runs parallel to the highway, I'm probably going to sink it so we can have a lot easier time building road access to this area. But for now, we can ignore that, and I just want to get this terminal placed down. So I need plenty of room for parking. And I would assume right in this corner, right here, is probably the best place to put it down. So we unlock plenty of stuff straight away as soon as we place it down. So we get hangars, control towers, hotels, planes, and what are these aprons? I have no idea, but we're going to find out. So we do get our own bus station. So public transport is a thing that I am huge on in City Skylines, because traffic is one of the most difficult things to accommodate for, and public transport is the best thing to solve it with. So that is definitely one thing I want to focus on while we're here. So now we've got this down. Nice. So it starts with a good type of road, which I think is the 3-lane one-way with a bus lane, which it is. So we have 2 of these. So road connections are quite difficult to think about. What I'll initially do is get a tree-lined road and bring it off this way for parking. So parking is going to be something that I am huge on, because I severely regret missing out on parking when I built the theme park. So I'm going to make sure that that does not happen this time. So if I just, how long is this one? 900. So if I do it in blocks of this size, I'm hoping this is a convenient size for parking spaces. If it's not, I'll temporarily adjust it. So if I head down, how big are these parking lots? Okay, that's perfect. So we can place these ones, and then we can have multiple of the little ones either side of it. And I will get some multi-story, but for now I don't want to build any multi-story, because although I've placed a lot of parking, airports need stupid amounts of parking. So I want to start everything off quite small scale and get it cracking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and sink these rail lines. Adjust the raised one to go all the way around, bring it through. Oh, actually, I've just realised it connects in here. So I'm going to figure out what to do with these rail lines, just to basically either get them underground or get them out of the way so we can build the airport with no restrictions. That was unbelievably more painful than I could have ever imagined it to be. Now that it's finished, it just looks so simple and so smooth and like nicely laid out. But the path to actually getting it to look like this was horrible. So you can see that right next to the highway now we have so much clear space for road networks. It's gonna be a breeze pretty much. But actually moving them train lines out of the way meant I had to reconfigure the way all the train lines intersect here, because this is kind of where like these 2 lines merge together but then both split off in their different ways. And you can see now, if I just go in the underground view here, that they both do run underground and eventually merge up here. And I could have merged them again down here, but I like the clean look that it has now. But yeah, so I did that, and then I also touched up this area a bit. So I added the main 5-lane road that is going to initially run down here. Obviously you can see it splits off into the 3-lane one-way road with the bus lane on it that goes to the terminal. So those lanes all just kind of stay consistent, leading to a nice loop to access the main terminal here. So now I actually want to figure out how to connect this to the highway. So obviously I do have this loose road here from Augsburg, where it comes in from the industrial district, where you can see this being the industrial district, you get a lot of queue in here and it gets extremely busy. So I want to use this back road as like a service road that won't get massive use. So I'm thinking what I can do is add a new intersection here, and then turn this trumpet intersection into either a cloverleaf or some other form of four-way intersection. And then I'll have the highway that runs here, and it can loop all the way back round and in. And then the other issue I have is this elevated road here. I'm unsure how to connect this into the rest of it. I'm debating just having a completely separate way in from the highway, so its own kind of one-way change, so you can kind of come in off this right hand side, come in off this left hand side, they'll merge up and it'll just run all the way one way. And then you'd obviously have one that goes up to the new bigger terminal that we're going to have down here at some point, and then this road will, and then another way that splits off and connects back in here, or can drop down onto this main road. But anyway, I think that is enough talking and explaining what I'm about to do, so I may as well just jump in and get cracking with this straight away. So that took a really long amount of time. I spent way longer building these intersections than I thought I would, but that's because I got carried away and I started really enjoying building them. And I mean, I'm not unhappy with how much time I spent on it. You can see they look really nice. I'm over the moon with especially this one, with how this is all played out with the roundabout underneath and the way they link into the main 6-lane road that I've added. Some people are using it as a cut through, which is kind of stupid because it's just longer than the highway unless they're using it as a turnaround. But anyway, obviously the roundabout underneath is causing a lot of traffic. I was debating just leaving it out and adding this highway that goes left to right to just go underground and pop back up, and then for this road to just carry on straight through, and then maybe add some slip roads. But I might upgrade to that in the future because it does seem to be causing quite a bit of issues. I just thought it looked cool, which is why I added it, and I thought it's a roundabout. Roundabouts usually do pretty decent. Obviously we have a little bit of lane merging here, which is gonna cause a few problems, so I'll stop that back up here. Yeah, we also are going from 6 lanes to 4 lanes, so I will just quickly change that back. And then I also did connect power and water up to the airport, so power is in and water and sewage are also in. I don't know what these vehicles are gonna do once they get. They're actually accessing the terminal, despite the fact there's no actual airport set up. I didn't know that, but yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Oh, I missed a spot. We'll see how this traffic plays out over time, and if it is building really far back up. If it gets really far back and causes lots of issues, I will fix it. But anyway, I want to crack on with the main bit of the airport now. So we have plenty of stuff to build, and it's actually been a really long time since I found out how these airports work. So what do we actually need to level up? I assume it's just... Okay, so we actually need to build it first. So we need an aircraft stand and a runway, which is easy enough. So if we look at the terrain for where runways would be viable, you'd assume that they'd want to fly. I mean, they can probably fly this way, and by the time it's taken off, they can probably clear this side of the mountain here. So I'll probably put the very first runway. Bear in mind, this is only one of 2 or 3. This is just to get the airport going, so this one doesn't have to be absolutely huge. If you want to clear these trees and a bit of space, then yeah, when you think about City Skylines, only requires your runway to be this long, and for small aircraft that's fine, but obviously for larger aircraft you'd want a bit of a bigger runway, but I think for now, just running that along, that seems like a reasonable length of runway. And you've got plenty of clearance at the back here for these trees. If I just remove actually a couple of these trees to give a bit of a clearer line, you have plenty of time to get down. And then same with taking off from here. If I just remove a couple of the trees in line with the runway, you're more than likely to clear that mountain if you're climbing. There's plenty of room. It's quite a shallow angle, so I'm not particularly concerned about that. So we've got a runway. We now just need an aircraft stand and a taxiway. So where do the aircraft stands go? So we can actually connect a few to the terminal. I think that's where you're meant to connect them, to be honest, or on a concourse. So okay, so these will obviously run between terminals. I'm starting to remember it all now. So if I just get a couple of these aircraft stands next to each other, I would assume 3 would be plenty for now. If we can fit a 4th, yes we can, why not? So we have 4 aircraft stands here, and then we'll want to run them. Okay, so this is where you join up, and this is where you exit. So we'll want to run a taxiway parallel to the runway, and then we will want to connect all of these ones onto this main taxiway here. I will flip the direction, and then the final one. And which way do they actually need to run? I would assume aircraft can come in and out as they please here. I don't know why it's limiting to just one way. Those are the park planes for decoration. I'll probably add them in myself. Oh, okay. These are just a replacement for surface painter. Yeah, because surface painter does mess up the ground. So this is how I can. That's how I didn't know they added that. That's actually quite cool. So I can just place these into cover up grass areas, which is splendid. So I'm just gonna run these all the way up here, and that looks so much better. So I'm assuming aircraft can leave and exit these despite the fact that they're only one way. You would think so, wouldn't you? I'll watch and see if anything happens. So planes can definitely take off from here. And which way do these taxiways actually face? Okay, so they do face outwards. So the one thing I'm just thinking about is when it comes to planes landing in here, if the taxiways are only one way, they won't be able to go in. Maybe I'll just flip 2 of them. Either way, it's the only option they've given, so it will have to work. But already, this just looks so cool. This airport DLC, I have to say, is my favourite out of them all. Oh, my mum knows, she'll be watching this bit. She'll be happy that I've just mentioned it, but she knows how much I love airports. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. Every time we go on holiday, I've said my favourite bit of holiday is probably the airport, because they are just so awesome. And being able to create one this in depth within City Skylines is just, it is absolutely amazing. I love it to pieces. Anyway, we are having prime issues, which I thought was garbage, but I suppose it doesn't harm us to give the airport its own police station and its own fire station. So this New Zealand Police Department building, I think, looks absolutely perfect for these needs. So if I can, I'd like to place it kind of in a spot that makes sense, which you'd think would probably actually be in the airport. But obviously with these constraints, we're gonna have to place it outside. So what I'll do is probably build out here and just add a small station just for kind of airport general services. So that police station fits perfectly in there, and I just think this kind of fits the the airport vibe perfectly. So obviously we don't want to create any issues when it comes to traffic here. So we will just add giveaway signs, and then I need to remember to remove parking on all of these roads so we don't get any sort of parked cars on any of these, and then remove it all the way up here, and especially remove it here. You do not want to be parking right next to an intersection. Yeah, this roundabout seems to be causing issues, so we'll do the best thing we can do and ignore it for now, and then I will come and fix that at a later date. So we've got the police station in. I don't know whether to add a small scale fire department or a large scale fire department. Probably large, to be honest. And then just to make this area look a bit better, we will then add some parking for all of the air service vehicles. Then what fits better here? Okay. We can probably have our own recycling station. I'll actually move this road along a bit. So I just add a recycling plant here just to deal, because the airport's so far away from all the other garbage disposal plants I have in the rest of the city. I feel like it's probably best to just have its own small recycling plant here. And then just a small medical clinic. And obviously this is probably overkill, but I just feel like for the fact of it being an airport, it's probably best to just have all of these services extremely close by. So this is the little public services department for the airport. I think that actually looks quite cool. So it's got everything you would need to ensure that the airport stays running nice and smooth within extremely close proximity. So there's already lots of people using the airport. So it doesn't actually say how many passengers we've serviced as other public transport stations do, and that's probably because it says here. So we have serviced 27 passengers, and currently there's 100% of these seats are empty. So we're obviously going to have to fix that. So we have 0 score right now, which is probably because we don't actually have too much placed. So we need an aircraft control tower. Obviously we'll want the modern one, and that has to be placed on a concourse. So this is where we'll build it out. So what is this? This is the ultra modern airport terminal. See, I think the modern airport terminal looks the best out of all of them. So I didn't actually notice this one here, but I feel like this looks a bit too modern. Maybe for when we build the newer terminals we can use this, but for now, just with a smaller airport to start off, I think this one looks the best. I didn't want the classic one because that's it looks kind of crap. This one's a nice middle ground, but we can build more anyway because there's no limits on what we can and can't do. So what I'll do here is I feel like running the concourse parallel to the road to add the aircraft control tower right onto the end is probably the best place. I'd assume that is what we need to get our airport properly up and running, because now we have an actual attractiveness score which will encourage people to come and use it. And it seems quite expensive to run, but we should be able to maintain that based on the rest of the services we have within the city. And then what else is there to get down? So hangars and hotels. So I feel like these are probably the perfect space to put the hotels in this little area here outside for the car park. Across from the car park, sorry. So obviously we'll have bigger, better, more expensive hotels as we build down here, but just for now, just in this little corner, you miss your flight or your flight's cancelled for whatever reason, you just kind of get tucked away back here, out of everyone's way, just so you can be sorted out of the airport's hair, and then they can get more people in. So we do actually need to extend the airport area over. Now I've got the roads and I can actually add a straight line, because it should clip to the road, which will make this look 10 times better. I really do care about how the districts look, despite the fact you never usually look at them. I would still like it to look pretty nice. So if I just close that off there we go. So now that's all within the airport area, and we can get the first few hotels down. So 2 is probably enough for now. Obviously we want to add more giveaway signs here so we're not impeding traffic as you come in and out. And then I will just add a few trees to the back, just so you kind of actually have some privacy while you're in these airports. You don't want to be just exposed to a main road with the level of usage that this one has. So I will just surround this entire area with trees, just to give privacy. Trees are very good at blocking noise as well. They're great for reducing noise pollution next to roads. That is in game anyway. I would assume the same applies to real life. When you think about it, does a tree really stop that much noise? But then maybe the leaves help. I don't know how good trees are with reducing noise pollution in real life, but they're definitely good in game. I do have all pollution turned off within game, so I can just build to my heart's content without having to worry about that, but it's fine anyway. So we've got these two basic hotels here. I would assume they can use the park in there. Is there anything else we can just add to this small space? I think that is it. So what I can probably do actually then is just add 2 more of these hotels, and then we've got 4. So we've got 4 decent sized hotels. I'll probably add parking for workers who don't want to have to park in the airport car parks, because the prices will be absolutely extortionate because it is an airport and that's what they do. So we've got parking, we have trees, and we have 4 hotels to house people at the airport. So that is basically all we pretty much need to get going, I would assume. We hit the attractiveness score. The only thing we're lacking now is the passenger count. So we have had people use the airport, but they no longer are. So obviously the only way people have to get here is via car. So if I want more people to come here to level up the airport, I either have to up the attractiveness even more or help people get here. So you can see we have a public transport tab, and there's 3 modes of transport that you can build into the airport. So we have train, we have metro, and we have bus. So the one we have unlocked so far is bus. So that is what we will build first. So we need to extend the concourse down so we can actually get the bus station in. So we will bring this down here, and then we will get our bus station in. So we will probably have it. It does connect in there. It's jumping around a bit. But is that actually connected to the concourse? I'd assume it is. Yeah. Although you can kind of see that it doesn't actually properly connect in. Maybe we need to have it on this side. Yeah, there we go. I think that's probably how we're supposed to have it. Although then you've got the road on this side. I think we actually should probably just place it on the other side. Yeah. So obviously you have all them bus stands, and then we do have the elevated road there. So if I just find that, there we go. Can I run this? I'd assume the height is currently 9 meters that it's at, but if I just place that in over the top, yeah, that clears all of them easily. And that means I will just have to shimmy it over, which should be fine. I may actually use the create connection tool, because it's quite difficult just doing that to yeah, that seems pretty nice. That follows the curves. Oh no, no it doesn't now that I've actually built it. If I just remove that and I do the same again, I think that probably looks a little bit better if I just do that. Yeah, and then obviously the road is facing the complete wrong direction, so I will flip it all, and there we go. It just comes out and protrudes slightly to go around. When we place the next terminal, I can probably place it a little bit closer to the road so that this can now run straight rather than having it bend back in. And then also, just when I was placing this concourse down here, I thought this already goes on for stupidly long in a straight line, and I'd like to obviously not have a really boring airport built in a square shape with this concourse running all the way down the front in one big straight line. So I probably can turn it and bring it back, or bring it forward then turn it round to add just a little bit of character, so it's a unique airport. It's not something boring that we have to look at. So that'll be fine there. And then obviously we need to connect up services. Now currently this road, they have the bus connected to the main terminal, but they don't have the bus connected here. Well, with the bus roads is what I'm on about. So I am just going to unlock that segment so we can change the kind of road to whatever we want, and change it to the same 3-lane one-way road that we have here, and then connect that in there. Now obviously that has really messed up the roads because the game didn't want us to do that. So if I just drag the nodes out, oh, that's the wrong one. That's very weird. I wonder why it was doing that. So it seems like it wants to... I have no idea what it really wants to do here, I'm not gonna lie. There we go. So I managed to get it working. It just took a little bit of playing around with. So now we finally have the bus station connected in. Now it is a little bit ways down from the main terminal, but I would assume you can just get one of the those walker-later things. They're dead quick. They're really cool. That run all the way along to just get you up and down very quick. So we now need to get some bus lines in here. So the first thing is thinking, where do we actually want to run the buses from? So obviously we want the main first bus that you get to be from the downtown, and obviously we have loads of places in the downtown where you can actually get a bus from. So what I'll probably do is, obviously this gets really busy because it services the theme park, so we don't really want to touch it too much. We want to go somewhere where there's not much traffic, which here seems like a good location because we also have this bus stop. Now which way does the bus take? I would assume that doesn't particularly matter. It looks like it goes out of the main intersection we built and runs, yeah, it runs across here and jumps in there. And we can just run that straight back in. So that bus, oh, I put it in the wrong one. Why not let me connect it back up? And not just complete line? Tell you what, loads of things are getting really finicky with this station. They're really starting to annoy me. So if I just remove that, can I not just add a stop and connect it back up to the same one? Okay. So I guess I'll have to start it from the other bus station, which is slightly annoying, it's really inconvenient, but it's fine, it doesn't matter. So run that along here, connect it into the main stop, and then run it all the way back. There we go. It now does that loop, which is awesome. Obviously this bus line is gonna get so many buses on it automatically. Yeah, I can't see because the menu's blocking it. There we go, 28 buses initially, which is absolutely stupid. I reckon we'll only need 5. We definitely won't need that many, but I will have them be articulated buses just in case, so they can hold their own first. So for an airport, I'm gonna go with a dark grey, because, and also name it Airport Line 1, just so we can differentiate them from normal serving bus lines. So line name, it should be right near the top, which is awesome. So that'll be the first line that we have connecting. So we have one to the downtown. While the airport's quite small, I don't think we'll have too much demand. So if there is another way to connect it in, I would assume this bus station at the university. So this services the other half of the downtown. So we have both parts of the downtown now serviced. And I'm also thinking now, if I just have them all as grey, it'll be a little bit difficult to differentiate each one. So I think it'd actually be easier for me to make all of these bus lines the different colours of the rainbow. So each one is a different colour. Not because I want them to make it rainbow coloured, don't take that the wrong way. It's because I just want to make it easy for myself to differentiate. So we'll start with red, then we'll have orange. We'll obviously make this another articulated bus. I'll put it Airport Line 1 again. That's obviously number 2. So now I just filter by name. All the Airport Line ones will be next to each other. And this also, 5 buses And then finally, we'll have one run from the airport to Augsburg, which has all of the red and orange bus lines. So there's obviously this bus station next to the train line, or the train station. But I don't think that's actually the best place to run it. I think the best place would be somewhere right in the middle, right next to a tram stop and one of the red line stops. So that we have basically all of Augsburg covered with this one line. And that will be Airport Line 3. I know that you can hear me typing, that it is really loud, and you can also hear me click. I've had that mentioned to me loads, like, oh, can you keep the clicking sounds out? Can you keep the typing sounds out? Well, trust me, if I could, I would. But I'm not spending like 150 quid on a mic because I just don't want to waste that money. It won't be a waste because it'd be, well, yeah, it would be a waste because it's too much money. It'd sound good, but not. It won't be 150 quid good. Anyway. We now have the first 3 bus lines serving the airport set up. So that should hopefully bring plenty more people in that actually want to use it. Now the one query I have, obviously, City Skylines is meant to be small scale, and this airport is severely out of the way. So what I would assume they want you to do is build your airport relatively close to your city. Now I know this does look like it is really close for an airport, but in reality, for City Skylines terms, this is basically over across the distance of half the map. So a lot of people in the city probably won't want to travel all this way to the airport to get in and out the city when we have the harbour just here, which I don't know if this gets plenty of use. Okay, it gets 240, which is decent, but compared to the population, it's not a huge amount. There is a slight depth wave coming. I was going to say coming back, but it's been going through the city for a while. Although our population has significantly grown, probably because I did build these residential districts last episode, and they are starting to fill up now. So I can probably zone the rest of them and get them fully filled into Bridges Gap. But anyway, I'm strafing away from the point. So I'm hoping this airport does actually get some service. We have had plenty more passengers. People are using it. Panic over. I should have just looked at the screen before I jumped to any conclusions. Anyway, we are actually massively now chewing through this passenger count. So almost half of the seats are used, which doesn't sound like a lot, but comparing the fact that we had 0% when we started is loads. And I have just looked at how long I've been recording, and I have been recording for a full hour. And I also have 40 minutes of time lapses that I have to get through, or I've already made you guys sit through them. So this is actually getting incredibly long. I don't know if you can just hear I banged my knee then as I was readjusting my seating position because it is unbelievably hot in my room. Anyway, I'm getting to a point where I waffle loads, but that's because I was waiting for it to level up. Okay, we're back down to 0% being used. I would assume that's just every time a plane comes in, we have it in use, and then as soon as a plane leaves, it's classed as not in use. So obviously we have plenty of stands and we have a big runway. So I don't want to do much more. What I'll probably do is just decorate the airport with the aircraft. The aircraft, where are they? Let me find it so I know what I'm on about. These ones, the hangars and the parks planes, because they add attractiveness as well, so I can add them in. And we also get different sizes. I'm really excited to do the rest of this airport. I'm absolutely loving it. We also have had, this is what I don't understand. There's a dead person waiting for transport in the car park. So we have to wait for a hearse to come all the way from the main part of the city. And that will, because it's City Skylines, it will take stupidly long. So I'm probably just going to add a crematorium to one of the service buildings. Obviously, that's not realistic. They wouldn't have crematoriums at an airport in real life, but just for the purpose of the game running how it should, I'm gonna add a crematorium, and then I'm just gonna, I added them first trees uniformly, and now I've just realised I kind of just want to forest this area over just to fill it in, because I don't want to add any more parking here because we already have an absolutely huge amount of parking and we have the bus station there. So there we go. That is filled up with forest, and I'll probably, because obviously that looks quite dense and there's just no more forest around it, I'm going to add a bit more forest on the outskirts of this area, and then just add a little bit of decoration with the small plains. And this is the last time lapse of the video, I promise, because this one's going to be stupidly long. So, some of you with a keen eye may have noticed during that time lapse we did actually hit airport level 2, which did unlock a plethora of new buildings, 2 of which I did place down during that time lapse, which was these 2 medium-sized hangars here. But basically all I did was just add a few more taxiways, add some hangars and some parked planes out here. There's plenty of space for new aircraft stands. I might have to rejig some of these hangars and planes if the medium aircraft stands actually need to come out a bit further than this taxiway allows. But that is all going to be a problem for next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode. It was particularly long. I don't know how long it's going to be after I show everything, well, shorten everything down into time lapses. But to me, this has taken hours, a lot of hours. It was mainly the roads and me getting carried away with using the intersection marking tool to make all the road markings correct at every intersection, and then making sure that every little curve and slope was perfect. But that's what makes the city look good. So obviously, actually, also before I finish, you can notice I did place a fence all around the outside, because that's one thing I forgot to do. You don't just want people walking into the airport, so got the fences down. And yeah, honestly, I love the airports. I have to say it again. They're my favourite thing to build. So obviously we've got quite a small one down now, just a single runway, a couple of planes. To be honest, when I look at these hangars from above, I don't particularly like the placement. I'll fix it in next episode when we move on to building more stuff because of level 2. So I hope you guys did enjoy watching. Tune in for the next episode to see the airport grow and expand. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, which I know my dad hasn't, and he needs to, and I hope he does hurry up doing it. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.